Kidding? Just one shot?
They're not all zombies, Doug. How do you fight this thing?
Maybe we could drown it in A1 sauce.
Well, sometimes that is better. The person you put up there ain't the person that comes back.
It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get there.
Ooh, I love this song.
And now we come to the thrilling final episode of our radio drama.
Hello and welcome to episode 157, I believe. I've been having some technical difficulties trying to get this episode running, so hopefully we're off to the right start now. It's been like an hour and a half of me trying to fix things, and I just don't know what I even did to fix them, but we're here now, so hopefully it's all good. We have, I hope, a fun episode set up for you guys, because I haven't even watched the movie yet, so I don't know if it's going to be fun. I've never seen this movie before, and it's the first time watch for me, which I feel very, very bad in saying, because I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. We're watching Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which I thought I've seen before, but apparently I actually never have, and I'm a horrible person for not seeing it. It's an hour and 26 minutes long. It's a horror slasher from 1990. But before we get into that, I would just want to say thank you to everyone who's been listening to the podcast. I see the views going up again, getting a high number yet again this week, and I appreciate that very, very much, and I appreciate everyone who's been stopping by the YouTube channel, checking that out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video, because we have the weekly gaming video going out every Wednesday. I got various short videos going out, and then episodes of the podcast. And then if I figure out anything else, I'm just going to put it up on the YouTube channel too. It's just going to be like the main hub central for like all my video content. I know some people think I should probably do a separate YouTube channel for the artwork and stuff, but we're just going to keep it all on one thing, because I'm just lazy like that, and I just think it works best that way. But yeah, we got a bunch of new artwork coming out. I'm going to be getting a head start on my October drawings, because I have 2 series that I plan on doing a single drawing a day of, so I'm hopefully going to have one of the series just already done ahead of time, so I don't have to worry about the other series. That's my game plan. I still got a month or so I should be fine, right? I should be fine. I'm sure everything's going to be just a-okay. Also, for those of you that don't listen to the end, if you guys could hit the like button, or wherever you're listening to this podcast, leave a review, leave a star rating if you're on Spotify, anything, maybe just even hit that share button. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate it very much. But with that being said, it's already getting pretty late, and it's a work night, and yeah, I'm just gonna get into this podcast. So as always, I'm gonna be watching the movie, and I'm gonna be talking about it from start to finish. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled on a movie that came out in 1990, I highly recommend you pause this podcast now and go find yourself a copy of it. I believe it said it's playing on Apple TV or whatever the app is. I don't know. I'm not an iTunes user or anything like that, so I don't know that program or apps at all. It's on something Apple related, so if you want to check it out there, I picked up a copy, so I'm just gonna watch it that way. I can't say I'm gonna recommend the copy yet, because like I said, I at this point in time doing this intro haven't watched it yet, so for all I know, the movie sucks. But yeah, the movie has a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, 4.6 out of 5 on Amazon.ca, and a 2.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So the first 2 are pretty solid. Third one, not so much, but apparently 84% of Google users like this film. The quick rundown on Google. Driving through Texas, young yippee couple Michelle and Ryan stop at the Last Chance gas station, but after they witness the owner attacking a hitchhiker named Tex, they panic and flee. In their nasty departure, they get lost and soon find themselves pursued by the chainsaw-toting maniac known as Leatherface. While running, the couple bump into survivalist Benny, who they team up with in an effort to escape. This movie came out in January May the 12th, 1990, is directed by Jeff Burr, who's known for Straight Into Darkness from 2004, where he's a director. He directed a short called Divide We Fall from 1982. He directed 1987 From a Whisper to a Scream. A lot of things I don't know, but one of the writers on this, other than Tobe Hooper, was Kim Henkel, which is also the writer for all the other Leatherface movies. So he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974. He did Leatherface from 2017, almost said 2007. He did Next Generation from 1985, and he also did the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I don't like that movie at all. But maybe that's just me being me, which is weird, because on IMDb, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 has a higher score rating than Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Next Generation, which I feel like The Next Generation is a much better movie than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because I just didn't like that movie. But maybe that's just me being me. I don't know, could be. This movie also had a $2 million budget, but it doesn't say what the box office is at all on Google, so that's probably not a good thing. The tagline for this movie is, "Some tales are told, then soon forgotten, but a legend is forever." So some fun trivia for this one. Apparently, director Jeff Burr was fired at the beginning of production. When nobody else accepted the job, he was rehired. He claims that he was probably the 50th director offered the job, as names like John McNaughton, Peter Jackson, Sam Raimi, Tom Savini, Scott Spiegel, Rennie Harlan, and many others all turned it down. He also claimed that New Line forbade him talking to Tobe Hooper, but he never found out why. I wonder, forbade? And I wonder why they forbade him from talking to Tobe, which seems very awkward, but, you know, I guess they have their reasons for that. I don't know why, but oh well, we'll never know.
Presents Saturday Night at the Movies, the television series which each week brings you the finest in recent motion pictures. Tonight,
some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, from the producers of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the real terror begins. November 3rd.
So we got the movie starting out with that nice New Line Cinema logo, which of course just makes you think of Nightmare on Elm Street, because why not? You know, it's a house that Freddy built, it, right? And the movie starts out with a narration about Sally Hardesty and her brother Franklin, and how, you know, they ran into the cannibalistic clan of serial predators, and just giving you like a rundown of the original movie. And it's also saying that Leatherface is the only person that wasn't captured, and he believes that he was an alternate personality of the Sawyer, who apparently was killed in the gas chamber. And then we see this hammer coming up and hitting a girl in the face, and then the Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 logo comes up on the screen. And then we see this, you know, girl just struggling as, you know, she's dying because she just literally got a hammer in the face. And then the intro credits start to play. As the intro's playing, we see the cast members' names coming up. We also see Leatherface working on his new face, as we see this face on the table, and he's like using a razor blade to cut kind of some of the edging of the face off. I will say though, the music that in this intro credit scene is actually really well done. I personally enjoy it, and the music is now composed by Jim Manzine, I think it said. It popped up pretty quickly on the screen. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. But yeah, we keep on seeing him just cutting various pieces of flesh into smaller pieces. That way he can sew his face together. The whole time this is happening, we see another girl who's watching from behind him. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a family member or if it's a victim that's captured somewhere. But yeah, she's just literally watching as Leatherface is working at his table, sewing this new face together. We actually come to find out she's outside the building that he's in, because she steps down a little bit too hard and a tree branch cracks. It catches his attention, so he opens up this big sliding door, but no one's there. And then we cut to like the next day, or like another day, and it's sunny. We just see this car driving down the road, as on the rail they're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and how they found several bodies and the coroners at the scene and everything everything. And then in this car we see, I believe it's Ryan and I believe Michelle being the main actress in the movie, and she wants him to get his head out of the books, and he's like, yeah, well, the radio exception sucks out here, so what do you want me to do? And she's just saying how they should talk some more, go on about what's going on, and just so work out whatever issues they have, essentially. And then Ryan's like, it could be worse. Could be like there's people in that body pit that they're talking about on the radio. And then Ryan's like, hopefully once they catch that guy, they fry him. Michelle's like, well, violence doesn't always solve other violence, so we need to find a different way. He's like, well, it's about time for you to live in the real world, because that's just how the world lives and acts. So you're gonna have to live in it soon there, Michelle. It's now nighttime and they're pulling up on like the traffic scene or traffic spot where they're pulling bodies out in body bags, and there's ambulances and hazmat suits and everything. And I'm not sure why they're driving through this certain area, or I guess it's maybe on the first main road. I don't really know why they are there, but it is what it is, I guess. So far right now, I'm just lost in the blue, and I have no idea what's really going on, who these main people are, and what they're doing. But now we just see them digging up a crime scene, and there's just skeletons in the random spots on the ground with like ooze and stuff all over the bodies. One of the guys is saying, you gotta be careful, digging up those body parts, because you're gonna get gangrene and blood poisoning. It's like, okay, well, that's safe, that's good to know. Get me the fuck out of this hole then. Then one of the guys in the hazmat suit's like, I should listen to my old man and went into real estate. I don't like this job. This job sucks. And then one of the other guys in the hazmat suit's saying, by just a rough count, they think they have at least 40 to 50 different bodies buried in this area right here. So that's a lot for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family to be doing. And then we see the sheriff coming to talk to Michelle and Ryan. We're in the car. We find out they're coming from LA. They're going to Florida. And he's like, why don't you take the plane then? He's like, well, we got to take the car to my father, you see. So that's why we're driving across country. He's like, alright, get moving and don't stop anywhere. So now we find out that there's like some sibling issues between each other, which really makes me think of Joyride now. No, actually not Joyride, Jeepers Creepers. It really makes me think of Jeepers Creepers more. Like Joyride works too because it's the two siblings fighting. But brother sister wise, it's definitely Jeepers Creepers feeling, because it's like the two of them are fighting, and I'd much rather take on Leatherface than the Creeper, but that's just besides the point. Hey, we see them driving by the Last Chance like billboard, and they're like, it looks like we're here, and Ryan says that, and Michelle's like, where's here? In the middle of nowhere. And then they run over a poor helpless armadillo, and they ram the car off the side of the road. Poor harmless armadillo. And then the poor little helpless armadillo is still alive on the side of the road, but they have to do the humane thing, so Michelle decides to grab this giant rock, which I'm not sure how the fuck she's picking it up, but she gets ready to smash it in the face essentially. But then she's like, Ryan, I can't kill the little guy. He's kind of cute, just on his side, crying out from pain. And you know what though? Ryan has no problem taking that rock to that little guy and just put him out of his misery. Let me see this random guy getting out of a car who was hitchhiking, and he's getting out at the Last Chance diner, garage, gas station, whatever the hell it might be. And there's a guy on a rocking chair outside the Last Chance. He's literally taking like a Playboy magazine and cutting up all the girls inside of it for some reason. Then shortly after that guy goes inside, we see the brother and sister, Michelle and Ryan, showing up, and the guy in the chair with the creepy porno mag's just like, ooh, look. Got something about a car. He's also got a Polaroid camera on around his neck for whatever reason. Then Michelle's like, so can you first go see if the bathroom is actually clean and like proper for human use? Because I really don't want to walk in there if it's like disgusting and stuff. And while Ryan's in the gas station, the guy that was on the rocking chair tries to spook Michelle and takes the Polaroid camera to take a picture of her. Be like, all right, it's $5. I'll tell you, $5, you get the picture. You're gonna give me some $5 and I'll give you the picture. Come on, give me the $5. She's like, you know what? I don't really want the picture, but if you could fill up the gas tank, that'd be great, and then I'll pay you the money for that. I don't want to pay you for the picture. And this random guy comes up to talk to her. He's like, this guy, don't bother with him. Don't worry about him too much. He's like the town loony. He's all sad because he lost his job over at Slaughterhouse or wherever the fuck it was. I wasn't really paying attention. And of course, this guy is Viggo Mortensen, who's playing Tex of all characters. I don't know where he's like, if you're the last thing I saw when I died a happy man. It's like, ooh, smooth job, Tex. Settle down there, buddy. Then after Ryan comes out of the washroom, he's looking for one of the windows, and for a reason, these sick fucks have a bunch of bearded dragons like strung up on their window with rope around their throats, and they're dead. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's just how the Sawyers are. I'm assuming it's the Sawyers. And then once Ryan gets back to Michelle, we find out Tex is trying to ask to hitch a ride with them, and Ryan's like, sorry, we're on a busy path. Don't really have a lot of time to fuck around. And Michelle's like, you know what? We can talk it over and figure something out, I guess. It's like, oh, okay. Which makes you wonder if, like, Tex is hitchhiking around different spots. How does he know anything about this clerk that runs the Last Chance gas station or whatever the fuck it might be? And then at this point in time, we see him in his little office, and then Michelle goes in the washroom, and he's kind of like creeping up against the wall, and then she's looking around the washroom, and there's a bunch of cut up pictures of naked ladies all over the place. I don't understand why that's in the women's washroom, or maybe it's just a unisex washroom. I don't know. I thought it was a women's washroom though. Then of course Ryan and Tex are talking, and Tex is like, you know what? I got a shortcut I can show you. If you got a map and you pull that map out, I'll show you the shortcut. Nothing bad will happen. Nothing like in Hills Have Eyes or anything like that. No, a wrong turn. Don't worry about it. You won't die. It's fine. And that's when Tex is like around, yeah, like, see, that road's not even on the map. So you should be messing around with roads out in the middle of butt fuck nowhere if you don't know where you're going. And to be honest with you, man, I'm just trying to get home, and I just want to get home. So if you can help me out get home, that'd be very greatly appreciated. Also, while the whole time they're doing this, we have, the creepy guy looking for a peephole that goes into the women's washroom, and then there's a commotion, and she comes out of the washroom because they start jumping him because they catch him looking through the peephole. It's actually Tex who catches him. I'm not sure how Tex would even know where he was, but whatever. Also, Michelle's like, what's the problem? Tex like, I was just having a peekaboo party and you were the star, so don't worry about it. And then the guy goes back into the gas station and then comes out with a fucking shotgun of all things. That's when Tex is like, you go, I'll handle the crazy guy. You go, I'll handle him, don't worry. As he just runs around with his shotgun in hand. And then he literally does shoot at them and shoots out the back window of the car, of all fucking things. And then as Ryan's looking out the back window of the car, he's pretty sure that the crazy creep from the gas station shoots Tex. And he's like, you gotta take the Cowboys route. It's gonna be faster, it's gonna be better. Let's take the Cowboys route and go right. And they do. They fall in for the trap. Well, I mean, like, what I think is a trap, because I've actually never seen this movie before, so I don't know if it's a trap or not. And then we're at the gas station where we see the garage door open and this big ass muscle truck coming out. Pretty badass looking truck, even though it looks like it's got like a cowhide on the front of the hood. And then the creepy gas station guy comes out and starts shooting his gun off in the air, saying it's Armageddon for the crazy bitch. And then we just see the truck driving off, and we see Ryan and Michelle driving off in the darkness somewhere with no radio signal whatsoever. Then somehow, as Ryan and Michelle are driving down this dark road, the fucking truck's already caught up to them somehow, because they're like, shh, do you hear that? And then it's like, yeah, where's it come from? And then the truck's driving with no lights on behind them and catches right up behind them, and it puts on all its lights, and they start freaking out about it. And then the truck starts speeding by them on the passenger side, and Ryan's like, oh my god, what do they want from us? And then out of nowhere, they throw a what I assume is a coyote off onto the windshield of the car, and then they literally stop the car, and they're like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? It's like, and then Ryan's like, oh, we hit another animal. It's like, no, they threw it at us, fucking dumbass. They came on your side. How did you not notice? And then after they have the car stop, Michelle's like, so we gotta just relax, we gotta get this handled, we gotta change the tire. And apparently they blew out a tire at the same time as the fox hit the window, or the coyote. I don't know when that happened, but apparently they blew a tire. Okay, it's believable, it makes sense. And then we see them both trying to change a tire for the very first time ever, apparently. Also, your dad's gonna be pissed off with the condition of his car once you get to Florida, because it's got no back window and it's got no fucking windshield now too. Good job, guys, good job. And then of course, as they're trying to change the tire, they hear a squeaking sound off in the distance, and Michelle takes the light away so he can't even see what the fuck he's doing, and she's like, I hear something. And then we just see a shot of someone's leg walking up as it's got like this metal mechanical knee brace coming on, and Michelle starts freaking out. She's like, come on, Ryan, you gotta hurry up, you gotta get the tire changed so we can get out of here, because the sound's getting closer and closer. And then as soon as they get the tire on and they get the lug nuts tightened a bit, they turn around, and out of nowhere we have Leatherface just standing there with the chainsaw as they jump in the car trying to get the car started, and Leatherface is literally taking the chainsaw to the back of the car. But they finally do get the car started, and the next issue is she can't get it into gear, just like they do in Jeepers Creepers. The only gear she can get into though is reverse, so she literally runs over Leatherface, but then he gets back up again and starts like ripping on the trunk of the car, and literally rips off the trunk of the car as they're driving away. So now we got this Leatherface that's now got a knee brace on, so I'm not sure where the hell that comes into play. I know in one of the movies he's running with the chainsaw and he cuts his leg, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't until like the 2006 remake, but I could be wrong on that one. And then we see a quick shot of Benny driving his Jeep down the road, and it's played by Ken Foree. And then we have Ryan yelling at Michelle, is like, you gotta pull over the car, you gotta stop so I can actually tighten the lug nuts some more and make sure the wheel's not gonna fall off so we can actually get out of here. And then it gets a little confusing because I'm not sure if somebody walks out in front of both of them at the same fucking time, but both people crash and flip the cars. Ken Forey, Benny character, he flips his Jeep and he's all fucking confused as to what's going on. And then it looks like Michelle sees this body of a dead person out from, and she gets all spooked and drives her car off in the ditch and flips it as well. Okay, so correction, Michelle doesn't really flip in a ditch. By the looks of it, she goes halfway down a fucking field, because we just see Benny with his flashlight up at the top of this like hill. It's looking around being like, where'd that other car go? Where'd that other car go? Oh Jesus, it's all the way down there. Ryan gets out of the car and he's walking backwards for whatever fucking reason, just feeling his face. He bumps into Benny. He starts freaking out. He's like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do anything to it. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And Ryan's like, we got to get her out. Because apparently Michelle's still somewhere in the car, maybe knocked out for all we fucking know. Benny drags her out of the car, and yeah, she's knocked out. She's taking a good nap. She's a little nappy poo. Just trying to nap away all the demons and dead people and Leatherfaces that are coming after her. That's when Ryan's telling Benny, he's like, there's some people after us. There's this guy with a chainsaw after us. And Benny's like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, I'm sure he's just, a guy who's a little bit shy of a full gas tank. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all fun. It's going to be fun. And Benny's mentioning how he's been driving up this road for like 2 years. He's never once seen another car on this road. But yet you've never once seen Leatherface on this road either? I'm a little bit curious, Benny. Which side you playing for, buddy? And then Michelle finally wakes up and she's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Benny. I'm the sorry ass fool that you almost ran into with your vehicle. And of course, Benny wasn't believing Ryan about the whole chainsaw story. So then Ryan's like, hey, mister, come look at the car. And he's looking at the car and he sees all these chainsaw marks. He's like, how many of them? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. It's like, awfully big saw. Then we found out that Benny apparently gave them some pretty strong painkillers that might make them a little bit sleepy. And Michelle's like, what are you talking about? We gotta get out of here now. Benny tells him just to stay there, and he's gonna go up to his Jeep and get some goodies. By the time he gets back up to the top of the road, there's a bunch of flares set out on the road, and he's like, wonder where they came from. And he's met by this one guy who's setting the flares, who has a hand missing that's got a claw. He's like, mister, looks like you had a mishap, huh? This guy might be the Tinker character. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be Tinker. But his hand claw also is able to hold flares just fine. And we find out he's standing in front of that truck that was ramming them off the road. And Benny's like, listen, mister, I need you to help me turn my Jeep up. He's like, up right? He's like, yeah, right way up. He's like, well, what do you think these fucking flares are all for then, mister? And then that's when Benny's getting in the back of his truck to go over to the Jeep. And that's when he notices there's a giant-ass fucking chainsaw in the back of that guy's truck. That's when then Benny stops from getting into the guy's truck. He's like, just wait 1 second. I actually just have to go over to my Jeep to get something quickly. So he runs over to the Jeep and pulls out this, survival bag thing that he has. That has, an assault rifle inside of it that he's got to put together quickly because he's a survivalist. So he knows what he's doing really fucking fast. He knows to load the fucking clip, but he's got no problem. He's like, just 15 more seconds, I'll be right there. I'm going to blast your face off, but don't worry about it. I'm not going to blast your face off. I didn't say anything about that. The whole time Tinker's just sitting in his truck. I'm assuming it's Tinker. And then he finally turns the headlights on his truck and lights up everything. And he literally just floors his truck. And literally Benny jumps out of the way in time. Tinker just rams his truck into that Jeep with no remorse whatsoever and just smiles about it. Like, and then at the end of the hill where Benny falls down, he's then met by Leatherface, who's getting ready with his fucking chainsaw of all things. And the only thing Benny has is to put his gun up to try and block the chainsaw blade. And then we have him hustling around Leatherface, and literally he kicks a saw out of Leatherface's hands and literally just starts beating the shit out of Leatherface like it's no big deal. And then we have them wrestling on the ground beside the chainsaw as it's still running. And then it looks like Leatherface pulls out a medical saw, like one of those little Dremel medical saws, and cuts Benny in the back of the leg. The whole time this is happening, the lady that was watching Leatherface make his new mask is just watching from the woods. And then she yells at Leatherface saying he's a scumbag and that Leatherface wants to come get her and not go after Benny. So then Leatherface kicks Benny in the face and then takes off in the woods after this random lady who's living in the woods. Then we cut back to Michelle and Ryan, and Ryan's finally waking up. He's waking Michelle up. He's like, come on, we gotta go. We hear him. And Michelle's like, how long we been up for? I was like, I don't know, just had a cat nap. Let's not worry about it. They're good drugs. Let's just let's get everything done and get the fuck out of here, please. And then we have Benny, who's back up on his feet. He's loading his gun. He gets spooked by the lady in the woods, and she's just like, it's just me. And she walks over to him. He's like, who the fuck are you? And she just walks away, being like, come on, follow me. I'm just a hobbit that lives in the woods. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's fine. And Benny's like, well, who the fuck are you? What's going on here? And he grabs her, and she's injured and stuff. She's like, they're still cooking. What, are you some kind of soldier? And we then find out for her character, she's the only one left of her little group. By the sounds of it, it was her family and her sister, and that she's the only one left, and that she's been out there for a week, and that the Sawyers are watching the road, and they're trying to pick off anyone that comes down the road. Even though Benny's been saying he's been driving down this road for the last fucking 2 years, I think he said. And he's never seen another car on the goddamn road. So I guess he's just safe because he's black. Yeah, I said it. Don't judge me. Maybe they're trying to be, not the same way all horror movies are. Maybe the black guy doesn't die first. Maybe they just avoid the black guy like he's not even there. I don't know. I don't know this movie. This movie's stupid. I hate to say that because I love Leatherface, but this movie's stupid so far. And this girl's like, I haven't been able to get out of the woods. They hunt people, they kill people, they eat them. And she's going crazy because she's like, yeah, the day after yesterday, I just ate a rat raw just out in the woods. I just caught him and I just ate it. But I just didn't cook it. I can't make a fire. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going crazy. Then he's pretty much like, all right, you are crazy. I wish I never came out here, but let's sit down and let's relax. And thank you for saving me. I appreciate that. And everything's going to be okay. We're going to get out of the woods. So what, you've been living in here for a week, it's fine. And of course, Michelle, being the smart one in the horror movie, she decides to start yelling for Benny to figure out where the fuck he is. Like, there's a guy with a chainsaw chasing after you guys. Maybe you shouldn't scream for someone else, just saying. Then we see Benny and the random woods girl sitting down on the ground, having smokes together, and it's all I picture is like them just skating down and having a sex scene, which doesn't actually happen, but just the way it's shot and the way they both look exhausted and tired, that's what I see in my head. And then we hear Michelle yelling in the distance for Benny. He's like, I gotta go now. That's my new friend that tried to kill me and run me off the road, but it's fine. And then as she's yelling for Benny, we see Leatherface being like, ooh, I heard that sound over there. Then we see Benny walking through the woods in the dark, and he's coming up to the swamp area, and somehow, somewhere along the lines, he sees a tripwire in the middle of the darkness. He just flicks it to see what's going to happen, and then this like wooden spike trap comes up, and he's like, man, this neighborhood, bad neighborhood, should never come back to this neighborhood. And then the random lady who's walking in the woods that's been lost for a week, she's walking around because she heard like Leatherface's knee brace, and then she just randomly sees the chainsaw hanging from a tree, and the next thing you know, we see Leatherface throttling her by the throat and pushing her up against a tree, and then has enough time to grab his chainsaw to go right after her and kill her. You've survived a fucking week on your own, but the first time you hook up with a black guy, now you're dead. And then we just hear the chainsaw and hear her screaming, and then Benny's looking around and it's like, damn, she's dead. And then we just see like a little speed montage of everyone working their way through the woods. And then out of nowhere, Leatherface starts to chainsaw up, and Michelle and Ryan start to run. But Ryan gets his foot stuck in what looks to be a bear trap or some kind of trap around his ankle. And he's just like telling her, just run, just get out, save yourself, it's fine. I'll be okay. No, you won't, but that's besides the point. And then Michelle runs a little bit, and then Ryan's pretty much watching me like, oh, fucking bitch is actually leaving me. And then she looks back, and then we just see Leatherface taking the chainsaw to run. And then she's finally running through the woods some more, and she comes up on a house in the woods. It's kind of in the open a little bit, actually. And all the lights are on, and she's like, safety. This is going to be fine. Oh, you dumb bitch. Well, she even decides to let herself into the fucking home. Doesn't knock at all. Just literally comes in. We see a bunch of like stereo systems set up, and she hears someone like crying by the sounds of it, and she's looking up the stairs, and there's this little blonde girl in a dress holding a teddy bear, either crying or laughing. I couldn't make out in the picture that I'm watching, so I'm not really too sure, to be honest with you. Anyways, then the little girl goes away, and Michelle decides to follow her into her room, and we do hear that she is actually crying. And once she gets into this room, it's just full of like moss and bones and stuff, not your typical stuff that would be in a little girl's room. Michelle literally finds the girl and is like, I'm not gonna hurt you, it's gonna be okay, what's your name? And the little girl's got a skeleton doll. She literally has a fucking skeleton doll, and she's like, this is Sally. And she takes a wooden or like a bone spike and stabs her right in the leg, stabs Michelle in the leg, and then she starts laughing about it. And then out of nowhere, Tex comes in and grabs Michelle by the back of the throat. And Tex is literally choking Michelle. He's like, they get dumber and dumber as he's talking to the little girl. And they both just laugh about it. Just like, yeah, they sure do. And then we pan around the room. We see a bunch of skulls and various body parts all over this little girl's room of all these dead people that, they didn't find when they were digging up. And then we see Tex, who's got Michelle in this wooden chair with like arms on it, and he's nailing spikes into her hands, into the chair, and he's like, so, tell me, how you like Texas? And then we see the little girl feeding Grandpa some blood out of a cup. And then we see the mama character, which is the first, rolling in on a wheelchair as she's got a voice box in her throat. And we've never seen this character before, which is kind of interesting. It's the only thing that's so far unique from the other two Chainsaw movies before this, is the fact that, you got this mama character in a wheelchair that's got a voice box, even though the grandfather is pretty much a fucking complete on skeleton, just with flesh, a little bit of flesh on him, I should say. And then we see Tink coming in the front door as he's dragging the body. He's like, look, Mama, I got some food. Are you happy with me, Mama? I got some food for us. And of course, the food that is, it's actually her brother, Michelle's brother, I should say. And Tink's looking at it, he's like, oh, look at the nice sneakers. Couldn't find like Tex playing around with what looks like a big stew pan or a bath pot. I'm not sure if he's like the cook character in this movie. And then Tex is also a cook character because he's setting up like all the different knives. And he helps hang Ryan so they can like butcher him up. So I'm not sure if there's like 2 cook characters in this movie or not. Yeah, there's more characters than it's needed because you got those 2, and then you got Leatherface itself, which you obviously need. You get Grandpa, who's not going to do anything because he's fucking dead. You got Grandma or Mommy, whatever, who's got the voice box, and then you got this creepy little fucking girl. And it seems like Tink is the father figure over Tex because he's like, how about you, Tex? How about you do the honor of plugging up that horse? Then we see Tex and the little girl gagging Michelle as they put like a dirty ass fucking sock in her mouth and then literally wrap like 3 layers of black ass duct tape around her mouth and literally like push it into her mouth like she's in a bondage film. That's when then everyone decides to leave this kitchen area where Ryan and Michelle are. And as they're leaving, Michelle's looking over at Ryan and she can tell that he's kind of still alive. And then also when I was laying out the characters, I also forgot the gas station guy. He's still alive because he's walking through the fucking woods with a black garbage bag full of body parts. And I guess he's dumping in the swamp somewhere. And then we see this guy stopping at the swamp area as he's throwing in body parts into the swampy water as Betty's watching from the other side of the swamp area with his gun in hand. And this guy's pretty much just insulting everyone who's been a part of like the body bag. And then we cut back to Michelle who's like struggling in the chair as he's trying to get her hand off the spike. And out of nowhere, Leatherface comes out and grabs her, and he's listening to a CD Walkman of all fucking things. And then he puts the headset onto her head, and she starts screaming at him. He's like, fine, don't like my music then. Fine. And then I know where Tex is like, hey, Junior, I got something special over here for you. And he lays out this giant ass, massive fucking chainsaw that apparently Tinks, or whatever the fuck his name is, I don't really care. And it's all chrome, and it's got a giant ass goddamn blade on it to cut down any goddamn tree you want, or cut any person up. And it's got like engraved the Saw's family, and it's got like, it just looks cool. But I highly doubt you're probably going to see much of it in the goddamn movie because the movie's almost over. And I quote, because this is part of the movie. And then Tinks comes in, and he's like, it looks like you got a present for the job you didn't finish. You lost the darky, didn't you? So then Leatherface pulls up the headphones that he's got. So Tinks is like, well, you gotta learn. So then he grabs the headset, or CD Walkman, whatever the fuck it is, and puts it into the oven. Which then upsets Leatherface, because then Leatherface puts Tinks into a reverse chokehold till he grabs his headset out of the stove. And Tinks originally goes to grab it with his claw hand, but Leatherface makes him take his real hand and put it into the flame. And Leatherface takes his like CD Walkman, cassette player, whatever, over to Grandma, Mommy, whatever the hell her name is. And he's like pouting. He's like, look, he melted my thing. He melted my Walkman. I know it'd be a cassette Walkman because it's the 90s. I'm assuming CD Walkmans weren't a thing? Question mark. I don't know, actually. And then the last chance guy's like, oh, look, trap's been swallowed around here, huh? And he's checking out the trap, and then Benny comes up behind him, pointing the gun at him. He's like, And Benny's like, you be quiet because this gun makes a very loud bang. The guy's like, do I know you? Do I know you? I don't think I know you. What are you doing out here? What are you doing out here? And he's like, I don't like the tone of your voice. You know, you're being very rude right now at this moment. You need to calm down, sir. And I don't know where the guy's like, big surprise. Fuck you, mister. Spits in his face. So then Benny, like, literally smacks him with the butt of the gun. And the guy falls into the swampy water. And we just see a couple bubbles, and that's about it. Then we cut to Leatherface in his little workshop as he throws his cassette tape down on the desk because it's all melted. And then he puts a mirror up, and he's, like, feeling his face, being like, I look hot. I look so pretty. I am Leatherface. I am pretty. He doesn't actually say that. He's just looking at his face and feeling it up a little bit. I guess checking out his stitching job. I don't fucking know. So then he puts on like a kid's computer game, and it's like alphabet soup, and like a clown comes up, and he keeps, and the game's like, what is it? And he just keeps typing FOOD. And he's like, please try again. It's not food, you fucking idiot. Clown. Fucking clown. Then we see Benny outside this little workshop that he's got as he's looking at the back of Leatherface as he's playing his little computer game. Looking into the office. He's like, what kind of sick motherfucking shit is this? And then Leatherface finally gets tired of playing his game. Like, you're wrong. I spelled food right. Let me see Leatherface coming back into the home, into the kitchen dining room area where he brings his saw and puts it down on the kitchen table. And then the little girl comes in. She's like, no, please not again. You promised. And Michelle thinks she's safe, that she's not going to be murdered. Or Ryan's not going to be murdered. And then She's like, you promised I was going to be next to kill them. It's like, okay, fine, you can be next. So then they decide to let the little girl kill Ryan, and they have this hammer thing set up for a headshot that just, it's like a, I forget what the technical term is. It's just, it's sitting up in the ceiling that it kind of gaffles down and then just hits him in the head perfectly. Anyways, all the little girl has to do is hit the little lever, and it crushes Ryan's skulls apparently, and then we just see blood dripping into a pan. And then the little girl is so fucking happy because she's like, yeah, I finally did my first murder. Or my most recent murder, because she's probably killed other ones, let's be honest. And then we just see the little girl sitting on Leatherface's lap. That's not weird at all. And then we see Tex go over to Michelle, and she's like, it looks like we're going to have to wait a little while to finish you off. But maybe we can let Junior play a bit, because he makes the damn nicest babies. What? What? Wait, what? What happened there? Sorry, babies? Are we supposed to be assuming that Leatherface is a sperm bank now and just impregnating any woman that they don't need to murder off at the slightest moment? Because I didn't know how long it takes a baby to be born, right? Maybe that's how they got the creepy little blonde chick. Then we see Leatherface with lipstick in his hand, and Michelle's just like, no, nope, not putting that on me. Don't touch me with it. Don't touch me with it. And then Leatherface just like throws her and just starts putting lipstick all over her face and not even on her lips of all things. And then he starts up his brand new chainsaw. And then we have Leatherface's chainsaw roaring, and we have Michelle just screaming, and then fucking Betty's outside. He's like, motherfucker, and just starts shooting through the house. And he like shoots Leatherface's hand, he shoots the mom in the chest, he shoots off like one of Tink's fingers, he shoots off I think Tink's ear, he shoots Grandpa a couple times. He's not hitting Michelle at all though, of course. And Michelle's like trying to pull her hands free from the spikes in the chair. She finally gets herself free, and then Tink's just yelling at Tex to grab her before she gets away. And then we see her like tussling with Tex, and she grabs a butcher knife, and I'm not sure if she actually hits Tex or not with it, but she like turns around, and then she's free, and then she's running out of the house, and she goes to stab somebody who it's actually Benny trying to grab her just to get her to safety. And then we see the little girl going upstairs, and she turns on this power bar like switch. The next thing we know, we see Leatherface in a fucking vehicle. He's in that big ass fucking truck, and apparently he knows how to drive now. He's got some music blasting, and Benny goes to shoot at him, but we find out the gun's empty, so he gets ran over by the truck. So literally Leatherface drives the truck like 20 feet, runs over Benny, gets out of the truck, gets his chainsaw and starts revving it. And then Michelle's like, you want to fight me? Come on, you stupid son of a bitch, I'll fight you with my knife. Then we see Tex talking to Tinks like, get out the big skillet, I'm gonna go get the meat. Then we see Leatherface chasing Michelle through the woods, and then we see Benny crawling out from underneath the truck, because the truck is fucking lifted, so he probably just like took maybe the bumper. And then we see Tex coming at Benny with an axe, but then Benny gets the axe from Tex. Then Benny's like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? Why don't you leave us alone? He's like, we're hungry. Benny's like, you ever heard of fucking pizza? He goes to swing, and the axe actually goes through the gas can that's in the back of the truck. And then they start rustling around, and the Tex grabs a chain to try and choke Benny at one point in time. The whole time we see the gas leaking on the ground. Then we see Tex like rustling around the ground, and he's getting covered in gas. And then Benny just pulls out a Zippo and throws it at the gas. And then we just see Tex going up in flames, and then Benny realizes, oh shit, the gas from the truck is catching on fire, going right to the gas can. So then we see him waddling away because he got cut in the leg earlier on. He's like waddling like a fucking penguin. And of course, while walking in the woods, of course, Michelle drops into a snare trap of some sort, and she gets dragged across the ground a little bit as Leatherface is coming at her like in this weird walking form because he's got a knee brace on, of course. And then we see her cutting the cord to try and get free because I'm not sure what happens. She's trying to cut something, and then next thing we know, we see the heavy bag moving some more, and she's getting dragged across the area some more. And next thing you know, she's in the swampy water. We then see her finally get out of the water, and of course Leatherface is standing there with the chainsaw in hand, just waiting for her. And out of nowhere, Betty comes tackling Leatherface into the water, and we just see the chainsaw running in the water. We see some skulls popping up, and we see Betty and Leatherface fighting inside the swampy water. And then as like Betty and Leatherface are fighting in the water, it gets really dark and confusing, because then we assume Betty dies by the chainsaw that's floating in the water. And then Leatherface comes up out of the water to grab Michelle by the ankle, and Michelle grabs a fucking giant ass rock and literally just beats Leatherface in the head like fucking 15-20 times with the rock till we see Leatherface finally stop and start floating farther into the water. And now it's next day and it's sunny, and sun's finally up, and we just see Michelle walking down this dirt desert road as she's kindly smiling, and then she takes a seat on a big ass tractor tire. And then as she's sitting there, the Last Chance gas station truck pulls up, and she starts freaking out, and the door opens, and he's like, hey, look, it's me, it's Benny. Hi, it's just me. Everything's fine. I don't know what the fuck happened in the water then. And then, like, Benny helps Michelle get in the truck. And then he's walking around to get back in the truck. The creepy gas station guy comes out of nowhere and smashes Benny in the head with a sledgehammer. And then he breaks off the window of the driver door. And he's like, look, it's me. It's hammer time. Knock, knock. And then the two of them are telefoning a bit. And then he jumps into the back of the truck. And then she has the shotgun pointing right at him. He's like, I hate when this happens, don't you know? Then she cocks the shotgun and shoots him right in the chest, and he falls backwards, dead in the back of the truck. And then we see Michelle helping then Benny into the passenger side of the truck because he's got a sledgehammer in the fucking face, or the back of the head, I should say. And then Michelle gets back in the truck, and she's like, there's roadkill all over Texas. And Benny's like, yeah, you got that right. And then she's driving down the road. Literally within 2 seconds of her driving down the road, we see Leatherface's leg come out with the knee brace on, and we see then the chainsaw starting up. Like, how the fuck did you not see him coming down the fucking road when it's a bare-ass desert road? Whatever, it's fine. The movie's over. And the end credits roll as the chainsaw's revving and the truck drives down the road. I'm really glad this one's over. Like, I am a fan of Leatherface. Leatherface is probably my favorite of the horror icons. I put him up there with the top guys, the Freddy, Jason, and Michael. He's number one. And then, like, I love Chucky and I love Candyman. And then, I love, Jason and Freddy and Michael. But, like, Leatherface is my top thing. And, this movie is fucking weird, but, like, at least they got Kane Hodder as stunt coordinator, so that's pretty fucking cool, I guess. But, like, it's just weird and stupid. Stupid definitely works. I guess it's just a silly, fun, wacky movie if you're into it. Me, personally, I'm not fully into it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 on the Rotten scale, and that's just... It feels like a 90s movie. It really does feel and looks like a 90s movie, which is great. I love 90s movies. Leatherface's skin design, not too bad. Nothing great. Nothing spectacular. The chainsaw was really fucking cool, but like I said, we saw it for like maybe 10 minutes at the end of the movie, and that's about it, really. But yeah, 4 out of 10 is definitely my score for it. Check it out if you want to. If not, like, the only place I could find streaming was on Apple, and I don't recommend it, but that's up to you guys. Which brings us to our movie we got picked for next week. Alright, we're gonna watch one that's on Tubi, because I'm going back to Tubi, because Tubi is great. Not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor me, go right ahead. I wouldn't say no. But yeah, it's from 1985. It's an hour and a half. It's a horror comedy, and it's the Return of the Living Dead. We've already done part 2 of the podcast. I think that was like episode 73. But we're going to do part 1 because I'm a silly goose and I haven't done part 1 yet. So hopefully you guys will show up for that one. I know it's a good movie. So I just need that good, fun, silly movie to coincide with this not so good, fun, silly movie. But yeah, hopefully you guys will tune in next week for that one. And as always, make sure you check out the outro band, the Toronto-based horror band, The Blood Opera. You can find all the links down below. You can find their Etsy shop too. Go check that out. Pretty cool shit on there as well. But yeah, you can find all their stuff on Spotify, Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube. Probably a bunch of other sites that I'm not sure of, but all their links are down below. So definitely go check them out. As always, go check out my stuff as well. Link will be down below for the Linktree link. And it's pretty much at @TyphonSign on anything. So Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Threads, TikTok, and the main thing that we're pushing lately is the YouTube channel, where we got the weekly gaming kit video coming out every Wednesday. We have old episodes of the podcast coming out, and we have various shorts and other videos coming out in between
things as well. Bunch of art streams and some other streams. Also, we got the Twitch channel as well. No set schedule on that yet, but we will be doing more games on there, probably like Fortnite and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, because I'm really enjoying that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they add into the game. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace.
I am the whisper in the classroom, the writing on the wall. What's blood for, if not for shedding?